What's up again, everybody? With the introduction of the Batman set comes some amazing new cards, and with new cards come new combos. One of the characters that I found myself most intrigued by was Firefly. I found all of his variants to be both interesting and extremely powerful, and I couldn't help but think about the cards that could combo with him. So today we're going to build a team around the rare version of Firefly. This version is a 4-cost bolt character with that villain affiliation. He's got a 1/2/2, 1/3/3, and a 2/4/4 side, and his ability says that when he is fielded, you may pay X bolt energy. If you do, deal X damage to your opponent. He's also got a bolt global that says pay a bolt once per turn, choose a target villain character die. When that die attacks, deal 1 damage to your opponent, which is a nice little buff for himself. But that's not really the important point, because the important thing is his ability is sick, so you want to save the bolts for that. Before we talk about the craziness that is his ability, let's talk about why I picked this version to build around. I picked this version partly because I love the ability, and partly because this card came up in my gravity feed, so of course I'd want to build something around it and kind of make it work, right? To be honest, I've come to believe that the common version of the Firefly is actually more powerful than this card, but I will be featuring that card in some upcoming videos anyway, so this is a perfect time to talk about the rare. So obviously the point with this card is to just roll up a bunch of bolts, then throw them at your opponent whenever you field Firefly. There are a few things to consider, however, when doing this. Number one, you're always going to have to pay something to field Firefly in order to use his ability. The only way to mitigate this is to run a card like the 4-cost Harley Quinn from the World's Finest set that reduces villain fielding costs, of which Firefly is 1 by 1. That's certainly something that could go on the team, though I personally didn't put it on there because I don't want to be paying 4 energy for something that only saves me 1 energy each time I field a Firefly. So because I chose not to include that, I am resigning myself to at least paying 1 or 2, possibly, in order to field a Firefly and use his effect. And 2, I have to guarantee that I'll be rolling a lot of bolts, and relying on only sidekicks to do this seems bad. Including cheap bolt characters seems like the easiest way to do this, but how do we guarantee that characters come up on their energy faces whenever we need them to? Enter the other part of our combo, Uncommon Rip Hunter from the Batman set. Uncommon Rip Hunter is a 4-cost shield character with an 013, 024, and a 135 side, and his ability says that when he is fielded, name a non-sidekick die replacing all previous choices, and while he is active, when you draw the named die, you may place it in your reserve pool on any face instead of rolling it. Alright, so here's the plan. We're going to buy Firefly, we're going to buy Rip Hunter, we're going to buy a bunch of 2-cost bolt characters, we're going to use Rip Hunter's ability to just pick up those bolt characters, put them on their double bolt side, and then just pay all of those and hit our opponent in the face until they die. So the next question we're going to ask ourselves are, what are some good 2-cost bolt characters that are in the modern age, since we kind of want to build in a modern age team? So one of the answers to that question is Racoon from the Civil War set. This is the one that you actually get from the packs, not the starter set, back when they were doing starter sets for your gravity feeds. This one says that when Racoon attacks, deal 1 damage to each player. Now there is a Racoon from the starter set that is just blank. He's a 2-cost. You can run him if you're worried that you're doing too much damage to yourself, but I don't mind it because I think it puts your opponent on a clock more than it does you, and that's only if you're attacking with this die rather than just using it as energy, which is the goal. So I'd say that these 3 cards are your big 3. These are the 3 that you're going to spend most of your energy on, where you should be spending your energy and where your game plan lies. So what else do we put on the team? Well, the first thing that we're going to put on there is some redundancy. Here's another 2-cost bolt character. If you need some more of these things, for some reason if 4 is just not enough and you have the ability to buy more, let's throw a Foot Ninja on there. Why not? I will say that this is the largest flex spot on this team, so if you want to swap this out for anything else, be my guest. It is up to you. The next thing on our list is Clay Golem, and the reason for this is Fabricate, because Firefly is a when fielded ability, meaning we need to cycle him. And if our opponent is smart, they're either going to let him go unblocked or they're going to keep chump blocking him so that he stays in the field. So what we need to do is use Fabricate to KO our Firefly and then move him into the prep, then re-roll him next turn with the bolts and with those characters, and just keep pushing damage in any form or fashion that we can. And we're going to want to bring 4 dice for this so that we get 4 dedicated auto KOs, and we don't have to rely on our opponent messing up and KOing him for us. The next spot is filled by Rare Merlin, which we will never purchase unless we absolutely have to, but if you're buying this, you're losing already, so I don't know why you're buying it. This has a global that says pay 0 once per turn. On your turn, you can spin one of your sidekicks that's in that field zone onto its bolt face and put it in your reserve pool. So this is guaranteeing us that we're at least going to have, if we stored up some of these sidekicks over the game, we're at least going to have a bolt that we can do some sort of damage with Firefly. Our 7th card slot is filled wonderfully with Rip Hunter's chalkboard, which is kind of cool because Rip Hunter now has his chalkboard as well. But obviously this is for the global because we can prep over these 4-cost or these 2-cost characters because we have a fairly low cost team overall so far. So we can use this to speed things along. The final card slot on this team is going to be filled by yet another new card from the Batman set, and another card that I really like from the Batman set. This is Huntress, the common version. She's a 3-cost bolt character with that villain affiliation. She's got an 022, 133, 143 side, and she says when fielded, deal damage equal to her attack to target character die. She is an extremely flexible die for us in that she can both KO our opponent's characters if our original plan isn't working working out when we need to switch to pure aggro. But also we can target our own Firefly, and her attack values fit perfectly with his defensive values, meaning she is a fairly reliable way to cycle Firefly as well. So as for basic actions, we have Superhero Registration Act, which was almost Big Entrance, simply because of the low-cost characters that we have would be even cheaper, and being able to snatch up all 4 is just really easy with Big Entrance. But I think Superhero Registration Act is a little bit better still in that you can cycle through your bag even quicker using it, and you can more easily get to those low-cost characters with it over a long period of time. The second basic action is a throwaway slot. I don't really want something on my team that's second basic action-wise that I really want to spend money on, so adding something like Big Entrance here is probably not a very good idea because I just don't want to be buying anything besides the other stuff that I plan on buying. There's already so much to buy. So I threw on Nefarious Broadcast, perhaps in the rare circumstance that our opponent brings some sort of weird global ability thing that we have to protect ourselves against. I guess this is useful, but to me it just feels like a throwaway slot. You put whatever you want on there. If you want to run Big Entrance, you do that. So looking at the team and its completion, what is this weak to? Well, for one, it's weak to cards that absorb damage like Super Rare Ronin. Because we can't push this multiple times, we can only do it once when fielded. Super Rare Ronin can actually just absorb all of that damage, get KO'd, then get put back out there on our opponent's next turn and keep this up. So if you're running up against a lot of Super Rare Ronins, then maybe you swap out that second Bolt character for something like Common Kryptonite that wipes Ronin's card text so that you don't have to really worry about his dice in the field absorbing that damage rather than just sending it to your opponent. I would also say that it's sort of a slow build in the sense that there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of pieces that you actually have to purchase before your combo really starts going off. And so if you're playing against someone who's running a really aggro team, then you'll need to adjust your buy order accordingly to prioritize getting sidekicks and getting some of those Rocket Raccoons out just to chump block with and survive so that you can get things moving in the right direction and start burning them out. As a sort of side note, I'd say that if you're building a team around the common version of the Firefly, you're not actually running into these problems. The common version has a lot more consistent damage dealing, whereas this one has a lot more burst potential. But I think both are really cool, and I can't wait to play both versions of the team. So there you have it. There's the team. There are some things that you can put around this rare Firefly to make it really cool. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me what you would change on this team. I am not loving that Nefarious Broadcast, but I'm not really sure what to put there, so sound off in the comments and let me know what you think should go in that slot. As always, guys, thanks for watching.